The people that I'm trying to delegitimize in the eyes of the folks that unfortunately protect their positions, or in the event that anybody wants to get rid of it or in their positions, well, oh, you're being unrealistic. We got to save the republic. These people have to exist. They continue to say dumb shit and continue to attempt to ruin the lives of people that live hundreds of miles away, thousands of miles away from them. Why folks in Washington, D.C. get to decide what folks in Texas get to do makes no fucking sense. But yeah, here we are because I'm a Republic. This guy, who unfortunately shares the same first name as me, has said some very dumb shit in the past. Doesn't also seem to be picking lovers very well as well. Of people that he's involved in. Swalwell says this, and this is how these guys, to be fair, definitely leftist authoritarians within Congress and within, government positions. This is how they feel about y'all. I'm losing my COVID patience, he says. I've tried to reason with the unvaxxed. I've directed them to some medical pros, or directed some medical pros. I've directed some to medical pros. I don't judge, but hear them out and steer them to facts. The unvaxxed love to say it's about my choice, but you know who doesn't have a choice? My 3 kids under 5. Okay, that's not an argument. Not an argument. Blah, blah, blah. You have the right to not get vaxxed, which I do. Fine. Then business and government, which, again, he's advocating for fascism. I need people to understand that, okay? Fascism is not some boogeyman term that is just generally associated with a guy that I don't like doing a thing that I don't like. It's a specific thing, and I would encourage you guys to become more knowledgeable on that by reading The Doctrine of Fascism by, which I think Giovanni Gentile actually wrote it, but most credit goes to Mussolini. And what it actually is more so everything within the state, nothing without it. So when you see this corporate merger of state, which the term corporation kind of implies statism anyway, but you get what it is. And I'm saying where the businesses effectively become extensions of the state and do the bidding by way of the state. That's what fascism is. Okay. Have the right to tell you you're not welcome to patronize. You can't get on a plane, which this is what I will say. Government doing something like that is completely different because government doesn't have the right to do shit. Businesses, and I've said, and some people don't like it, I'm just consistent in terms of my position on this. Businesses have the right to do whatever the fuck they want. I was talking to, John Doyle about this. I remember when this shit first went, like some of this went down, like on News and Why It Matters, and, we started to get these more fascistic approach. And some conservatives disagree because I say if they do want to force vaccines in their own private businesses, that's their right to do that. Well, you can't force someone to get it's not forcing you to get injected. That's their private property rights. And if you are consistent on the private property rights, then yeah, you would allow them to do that. But the reason why that's not even worth talking about, because that's not what we're dealing with. We're not dealing with private institutions acting on their own behalf. No, we never were dealing with that. What we've been dealing with is government, be it federal, state, local, have essentially put pressure on those businesses to advocate a policy that they want them to, right? So whether it be through the grant and loan business, whether it be through direct punishment, so by more taxes, more fines or something like that. And that's what has made the businesses start enforcing this. It's not because they give a shit about mandates or anything like that, or they want that individually themselves. It's no, they have another entity essentially forcing them to do it. So this is why it's not worth even discussing, as if what we're dealing with is just a bunch of private businesses on their own will having a policy that means that if you want to have access to their private property, then you have to be vaccinated. That's not what we're dealing with. That's not to say that some businesses wouldn't, but in mass and in large, It's government pressuring business to do it. And basically what we're doing is we're being disingenuous by trying to discuss this topic as if the government has no fucking role in it when dealing with businesses and their mandates. That's dishonest and disingenuous. It's not even worth discussing. But, of course, if the government had nothing to do with this at all, from the pipping of the vaccines to the pressure, then yeah. I've said this before. If the business owner required you to have to hold a handstand or be able to hold a handstand for 10 seconds before you're able to shop, and you have to have proof that you can do it, that's their right. I might think it's the dumbest fucking policy in the world, but that's their right. That's their fucking right to do it. But that's not what we're dealing with here. But anyway, this dipshit says, because what right do you think you have to expose my kid to COVID? Again, same thing that the Kramer idiot does and everybody else seems to be on the authoritarian left. You're sick automatically if you're unvaxxed, and they conflate being unvaxxed to spreading the virus. When we know for a fact that you are vaccinated and you can still spread COVID. That's not an opinion. So you're spreading medical misinformation by even being disingenuous and operating as if the only people that are spreading it and exposing your child to COVID, which again, your child being hospitalized or dying of COVID is almost non-existent in terms of the risk there. But you can expose them to that shit too, you idiot. As parents, let's own the outrage. The loony carnival barkers at the school board meetings do not reflect where most parents are, says who? Your unvaxxed status is creating new variants. Show the receipts. So get your damn shot. No. Or stay inside your house. No. But don't mess with my kids. First of all, nobody's messing with your kids, and you work for the fucking, you're a Congress folk, so you are among the most evil scum of the earth and kid dealers anyway, so I ain't trying to hear that shit anyway. Nonetheless, these people want you fucking dead or starved at minimum and completely ostracized. And because they have control of the government, they want, of course, under their directive, to be able to implement whatever policies it is that keeps you out. No matter how deranged they are, no matter how ineffective they are, and even stopping what they're claiming to stop, right? No matter how dumb that is, they want to be able to do it because this ain't got shit to do with health. It has everything to do with punishing people that have not complied. That's it. That's all this has to do with. It frustrates them that there's a bunch of people who have exercised their freedom and been, despite all this nonsense, because it's a lot more difficult depending on where you're at, and a lot more difficult for you guys that work for other people, for example, to remain unvaccinated, considering all these mandates and all this other dumb shit that's happening out there. So throughout all of that, there's people still in this country that have said, you know what, I'm not going to get it, and you can go fuck yourself. And they don't like that. This has everything to do with that. And everybody that walks around is yet another example of folks that have held their ground and not complied with them for various reasons. Whatever that reason is none of your damn business, to be honest. But to act as if nobody has come to a reasonable conclusion that they would not get it, and the fact that you think that nobody has done that, well, I guess you're a fucking retard. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.